Dr. Zithkar looked at his computer screen with all four of his eyes wide open. The numbers on the screen made no sense. He was the best alien scientist in the galaxy, and he had studied thousands of different life forms. But these new creatures, called humans, were impossible. The tall blue alien pressed buttons on his desk with his long fingers. More data appeared on the screen. Each new piece of information made him more confused. These humans should be dead. They should never have lived long enough to build spaceships. Yet here they were, flying through space like it was normal. This cannot be right, he said to himself. His voice made a humming sound like a broken machine. Captain Jake Murphy woke up on the human spaceship called New Horizon. He stretched his arms and yawned. Then he walked to his bathroom and turned on the water. The water was so hot that steam filled the small room. Jake smiled and stepped under the burning water. Dr. Zethkar watched this through his cameras. His computer showed that the water was hot enough to cook most aliens alive. But the human just stood there, happy and relaxed. The alien scientist made notes on his tablet. "Subject enjoys deadly heat," he wrote. After his shower, Jake went to the kitchen area of the ship. He opened a black can and poured brown liquid into a cup. The liquid was so dark it looked like oil. Jake added white powder to it and stirred. Then he drank the whole cup in 3 big gulps. The alien's computer started beeping loudly. Red warning lights flashed on his screen. The brown liquid contained enough poison to kill a horse-sized creature from his home planet. But Jake just smiled and poured another cup. How is he still alive? Dr. Zethkar whispered. The human ship had sent a message to the alien research station 3 days ago. The message was simple and friendly. It said humans wanted to meet other life forms and share knowledge. The aliens were excited. New species were rare, and humans seemed peaceful. But now Dr. Zethkar wondered if humans were actually dangerous. Not because they wanted to hurt anyone, but because they did things that should kill them every single day. Lieutenant Amy Foster walked into the kitchen area. She was a small human with yellow hair tied back in a tight bundle. She saw Jake drinking his black liquid and laughed. "Starting early today?" she asked. "You know me," Jake replied. "Can't function without my coffee." Amy opened a metal box and took out small white pills. She swallowed 5 of them without any water. Dr. Zethkar's computer showed that each pill contained enough chemicals to stop the heart of most known life forms. Amy just grabbed her own cup of the black poison and walked away whistling a happy song. The alien scientist felt dizzy. His blue skin turned pale green, which happened when his kind got very worried. He pressed a button on his desk that connected him to other alien scientists. "Dr. Vextil, please come to my office immediately," he said into his microphone. Dr. Vextil was a purple alien with 8 arms like an octopus. She was an expert on how bodies worked. When she arrived at Dr. Zethkar's office, she found him staring at his screens with a confused look. "What is wrong?" she asked, waving 4 of her arms. "Look at this data," Dr. Zethkar said, pointing at his screen. "These humans do things that should kill them, but they act like it is normal." Double quotes. Dr. Vextil looked at the numbers. Her purple skin turned white with shock. "This cannot be correct. Show me the live video." On the screen, they watched more humans wake up and start their day. A man named Pete Johnson went outside the ship wearing only thin clothes. Space was cold enough to freeze most creatures solid in seconds. But Pete just floated there, looking at the stars and smiling. "He is not wearing a proper spacesuit," Dr. Vextil said. "Where is his protection?" "That is his protection," Dr. Zethkar replied. "Just thin fabric and a clear helmet." A woman named Lisa Brown was inside the ship, running very fast on a machine that moved under her feet. She was breathing hard and sweating. The alien's computers showed her heart beating so fast it should explode. But she was laughing and seemed happy. "Why is she running?" Dr. Vex still asked. "Is something chasing her?" "No," Dr. Zethkar said. "She told me she does this every day for fun. She calls it exercise." The two aliens watched for hours. They saw humans eat plants that contained natural poison. They saw them drink liquids that would dissolve metal. They watched them breathe air that had too much oxygen for most life forms. But the strangest thing was how happy the humans seemed. They laughed, told jokes, and acted like everything was perfectly normal. They were living in conditions that would kill most aliens in minutes, and they appeared to enjoy it. "I have studied biology for 50 years, Dr. Vextel said slowly. "I have never seen anything like this. How are they even alive?" Dr. Zethkar saved all his data and closed his computer. He looked at his friend with all four eyes. "I do not know," he said, "but I think we need to study these humans very carefully. Either they are the luckiest species in the galaxy, or they are something completely new." Outside their window, the human ship New Horizon continued its journey through space. Inside, the crew went about their daily lives, drinking poison, exercising until their hearts almost stopped, and doing dozens of other things that should have killed them long ago. The aliens had no idea that they were witnessing the most successful species evolution had ever created. 3 weeks later, the biggest meeting in galaxy history took place. Scientists from 50 different planets came to Research Station Omicron. They all wanted to learn about the impossible humans. Dr. Vex Till stood in front of a room full of alien scientists. Behind her, a huge screen showed pictures and videos of humans doing normal human things. To the aliens, these normal things looked like suicide attempts. "Watch this carefully," Dr. Vex Till said. She pressed a button, and the screen showed a human named Pete Johnson. Pete was lying on a flat surface outside. Above him, a giant ball of nuclear fire burned in the sky. The aliens knew this ball of fire as the human star they called the sun. Pete was letting deadly radiation hit his skin directly. "He is not wearing any protection," Dr. Vex Till explained. "Our computers show that this radiation would burn through our skin in seconds. But look at his face." Pete was smiling. His eyes were closed, and he looked peaceful and happy. Next to him was a bottle of liquid that he drank from time to time. "He calls this getting a tan," Dr. Vex Till continued. "He says it makes him look better. He does this for fun." A green alien in the front row raised 3 of his arms. "Perhaps humans have very thick skin?" he suggested. Dr. Vex Till shook her head. "No, their skin is actually quite thin. Watch this." Next video. The screen changed to show a human woman named Lisa Brown. She was running very fast through a forest. Her feet hit the ground hard with each step. Sweat poured down her face. Her heart was beating so fast, the alien computers could barely count it. "She is running at maximum speed," Dr. Vex Till said. "Her body temperature is rising to dangerous levels. Her heart rate would kill most of us, but she is not running from danger." "Then why is she running?" asked a robot-like alien from the back. "For enjoyment," Dr. Vex Till replied. "She told us it makes her feel good. She runs like this several times each week." The room full of aliens made shocked sounds. Some of them were clicking, others were whistling, and a few were making low humming noises. They could not believe what they were hearing. Dr. Zethkar stepped forward to show his own research. He pressed buttons on his control pad, and new videos appeared on the screen. "This is Commander Rick Davis," he announced. "Watch what he eats for breakfast." The video showed Rick in the human ship's kitchen. He opened a jar full of red paste that looked like blood. He spread this paste on flat bread. Then he added small green circles that were clearly some kind of plant. "Those green circles are called peppers," Dr. Zethkar explained. They contain a chemical called capsaicin. This chemical evolved to stop animals from eating these plants. It causes terrible pain and burning. Rick took a big bite of his food. His face turned red and water came out of his eyes. He started breathing fast and reached for a glass of cold liquid. He is clearly in pain, Dr. Zethkar continued. But watch what happens next. Rick smiled and took another bite. Then another. He ate the entire piece of bread covered in the painful plant paste. When he finished, he made more. He does this every morning, Dr. Zethkar said. When I asked him why, he said the peppers taste good and wake him up. A tall alien with 6 legs stood up. This makes no sense. Why would a species evolve to enjoy pain? It gets worse, Dr. Zethkar replied. He showed another video. This video showed humans doing something they called extreme sports. One human jumped off a high bridge with only a rope tied to his feet. Another human rode down a steep mountain on a small board, going very fast and jumping over rocks. They do these things for fun, Dr. Zethkar explained. They pay money to do activities that have a high chance of serious injury or death. The alien scientists were very quiet. They had never seen anything like this in all their years of study. Dr. Vextil showed more videos. One showed a human named Tony Garcia swimming in frozen water. The water was so cold it would stop most alien hearts in seconds. But Tony was laughing and seemed to enjoy it. Another video showed a human woman named Kelly Adams working on broken equipment. Sparks flew everywhere and dangerous chemicals leaked from pipes. Kelly fixed everything with her bare hands while the chemicals burned her skin. When she finished, Dr. Vextil said, I asked her if she was hurt. She looked at the burns on her hands and said they would heal in a few days. Then she went to eat lunch. Heal? Asked a small alien with big eyes. She expects her body to repair itself? Yes, Dr. Vextil replied. And it does. Humans heal from injuries that would be permanent. For most of us, sometimes they heal completely with no scars. The meeting continued for hours. The aliens learned that humans regularly ate poison, drank liquids that would dissolve metal, exercised until they nearly died, and exposed themselves to deadly radiation. They learned that humans lived on a planet covered in creatures that tried to kill them, yet humans had become the dominant species. Most shocking of all, the humans seemed to enjoy their dangerous lifestyle. They were always laughing, joking, and looking for new challenges. When the meeting ended, the alien scientists were more confused than ever. They had enough data to prove that humans were doing impossible things. But they still did not understand how or why Dr. Zethkar looked at his notes. Pages and pages of observations that made no sense. Humans should have died out long before they learned to make fire. Instead, they had built spaceships and traveled to the stars. We need to study them more, he told Dr. Vextil. There is something about humans that we do not understand. Something that makes them different from every other species in the galaxy. Different is one word for it, Dr. Vextil replied. Impossible is another. As the alien scientists left the meeting, they all had the same question in their minds. How are humans even alive? And if they could survive conditions that killed everything else, what did that mean for the future of life in the galaxy? Answers would change everything they thought they knew about survival, evolution, and what it meant to be alive in a dangerous universe. Dr. Luxara was the best mind science expert in the galaxy. She studied how different species thought and acted. She had worked with creatures that had brains the size of buildings, and others that thought with their entire body. But humans were, making her question everything she knew about behavior. She sat in her office, looking at video recordings of a human named Tony Garcia. Tony worked as a mechanic on a human space station. During his free time, he did things that should have scared him to death. Instead, he smiled and laughed while doing them. Computer, play video file 7. Dr. Luxara said. The screen showed Tony jumping out of a flying vehicle with only a thin fabric sheet to slow his fall. He was falling through the air at incredible speed, but his face showed pure joy. He was shouting with happiness as he fell toward the ground. Analysis. Subject appears to enjoy near-death experience. Dr. Luxara spoke into her recorder. This goes against all known survival instincts. She switched to another video. This one showed Tony climbing up a steep rock wall with no safety equipment. One small mistake would mean falling to his death. But Tony was whistling a happy song as he climbed. Dr. Luxara's assistant, Dr. Morton, came into the office. Dr. Morton was a gray alien with a very large brain. His species was known for being very careful and avoiding all risks. Have you found any explanation for human behavior? Dr. Morton asked. No, Dr. Luxara replied. If anything, I am more confused than before. Watch this. She played a video of humans doing something they called extreme skiing. They were sliding down a mountain at very high speed on thin boards attached to their feet. The mountain was covered in rocks and trees that could kill them instantly. Notice their faces. Dr. Luxara pointed out. They are not afraid. They are excited. They are having fun. Dr. Morton's large brain processed this information slowly. Perhaps they do not understand the danger? That is what I thought at first, Dr. Luxara said. But watch this next video. The new video showed the same humans from the skiing video. But now they were in a meeting room, carefully planning their next dangerous activity. They talked about safety equipment, weather conditions, and emergency procedures. They clearly understood every risk. They know exactly how dangerous it is, Dr. Luxara explained. They plan carefully to reduce the risks. But then they do it anyway, and they love every minute of it. Dr. Zeither joined them in the office. He had been studying human bodies for weeks, trying to understand how they survived their daily activities. I have more data, he announced. This morning I watched Chief Engineer Danny Webb drink something called an energy drink. What is an energy drink? Dr. Morton asked. It contains enough stimulants to stop 3 alien hearts, Dr. Zethkar replied. Danny drank 2 of them. Then he worked for 18 hours straight in extreme heat and cold. Did he show signs of fatigue poisoning? Dr. Luxara asked. No, Dr. Zethkar said. When his shift ended, he said he felt great. He wanted to work longer, but his captain ordered him to rest. Dr. Luxara added this to her growing list of impossible human behaviors. She had been studying a human security officer named Nina Clark. Nina's job was to fix dangerous problems on the space station. Yesterday, Nina had walked into a room full of deadly radiation to repair a broken machine. She wore only basic protection that would not save most aliens. She spent an hour in the radiation, fixed the problem, and came out asking if anyone wanted to get lunch. I asked her if she was worried about radiation poisoning, Dr. Luxara said. She told me that some radiation was normal for her job. She said she would be fine as long as she ate a good meal and got enough sleep. The 3 alien scientists looked at each other with confusion. They had studied thousands of species, but none acted like humans. There is something else, Dr. Zethkar said. I have been watching a human named Chris Parker. He is a brilliant scientist who calculates space travel routes. His math is perfect, and his planning is very careful. That sounds normal, Dr. Morton said. But in his free time, he rides a 2-wheeled vehicle at high speed through crowded areas. Dr. Zethkar continued. He wears minimal protection. One small mistake could kill him instantly. So he is careful at work, but reckless during recreation? Dr. Luxara asked. Exactly, Dr. Zethkar replied. Humans seem to be the most careful and most reckless species. At the same time, Dr. Luxara had noticed this pattern in other humans too. Captain Helen Rogers was extremely careful when flying her spaceship. She checked every system 3 times before takeoff. She followed all safety procedures perfectly. But during her vacation time, Helen went to a planet where she swam with giant sea creatures that could swallow her whole. She climbed mountains during storms and explored caves that could collapse. At any moment, it makes no sense, Dr. Luxara said. How can the same individual be both super careful and completely reckless? The aliens decided to ask the humans directly. They set up a meeting with several human crew members to discuss their behavior. The first human they talked to was Engineer Sally Kim. Dr. Luxara asked her why humans did dangerous things for fun. It makes us feel alive, Sally explained. When we face challenges, we grow stronger. When we overcome fear, we become more confident. But you could die, Dr. Morden pointed out. Sally laughed. We could die crossing the street or eating lunch. Everything has risks. At least extreme sports are exciting. They talked to pilot Ben Walsh next. Ben regularly flew his ship through dangerous asteroid fields just to see if he could do it. Why do you take unnecessary risks? Dr. Zethkar asked. Because that is how we learn our limits, Ben replied. If I never push myself, I will never know what I can really do. Besides, the view from inside an asteroid field is amazing. The aliens interviewed dozens of humans. They all gave similar answers. Humans saw danger as a challenge to overcome, not something to avoid. They believed that facing risks made them stronger and more capable. This is completely backwards, Dr. Luxara told her colleagues after the interviews. Every other species tries to avoid danger. Humans actively seek it out. Maybe that is why they are so successful, Dr. Morden suggested. While other species hide from challenges, humans face them directly. Dr. Zethkar nodded slowly. Perhaps their willingness to take risks is what allowed them to develop advanced technology so quickly. But this still did not explain how humans survived their risky behavior. Other species that took similar risks went extinct quickly. Humans had been taking crazy risks for thousands of years and were still thriving. There must be something special about human biology, Dr. Luxara concluded. Something that lets them survive situations that would kill everyone else. The 3 scientists agreed to work together to solve the mystery. They would study human bodies, human minds, and human behavior until they found the answer. Somewhere in the galaxy, humans continued their daily lives, completely unaware that their normal activities were considered impossible by the greatest scientific minds in the universe. Dr. Kellenox had been a medical scientist for over 60 years. His species lived for 300 years, so he was still young. But he had never seen anything like human medicine. The humans did things that should kill them, and somehow they got healthier instead. Captain Helen Rogers had agreed to let the alien doctors study her body. She was a healthy human female who had been traveling through space for 10 years. Dr. Kellenox expected to find a body damaged by years of dangerous living. Instead, he found something impossible. Her blood contains antibodies for over 400 different diseases, Dr. Kellenox announced to his medical team. Many of these diseases would kill our species, even with the best treatment. Dr. Vextel looked at the test results with her, 8 arms waving in confusion. How is she not dead? She should be fighting hundreds of infections at once. That is just it, Dr. Kellenox replied. She is not fighting them. She is living with them peacefully. Her body has learned to work with these diseases instead of just fighting them. The alien doctors had never seen anything like it. Most species had immune systems that fought disease by trying to destroy invaders. Human immune systems seemed to do something much more complex. They learned from each disease and became stronger. Dr. Kellenox studied blood samples from dozens of humans. Each one told the same impossible story. Human bodies were full of germs, bacteria, and viruses that should be deadly. But instead of making humans sick, these tiny organisms seemed to help them stay healthy. Lieutenant Ben Walsh was eating lunch when Dr. Kellenox found him. Ben was eating something white and creamy from a small container. "What is that food?" Dr. Kellenox asked. "Yogurt," Ben replied. "It is good for my stomach." Dr. Kellenox scanned the yogurt with his medical equipment. The results made him dizzy. The yogurt was full of living bacteria. Ben was deliberately eating millions of tiny organisms. "You are consuming live bacteria," Dr. Kellenox said in shock. "Yeah, they are called probiotics," Ben explained. "They help my digestive system work better. They also boost my immune system." Dr. Kellenox watched in horror as Ben ate the entire container of bacteria-filled food. Ben smiled and said he felt great. "How do you know these bacteria will not make you sick?" Dr. Kellenox asked. "Because they are good bacteria," Ben replied. "Not all germs are bad. Some of them help us stay healthy." This was completely opposite to everything Dr. Kellenox knew about medicine. His species, like most aliens, tried to avoid all germs and bacteria. They lived in sterile environments and took medicine to kill any organisms that got into their bodies. Humans did the exact opposite. They ate bacteria on purpose. They exposed themselves to germs regularly. And somehow, this made them healthier instead of sicker. Dr. Zeth Carr joined the medical research team to share his observations. He had been watching human children, trying to understand how young humans survive to become adults. Human children are exposed to thousands of germs every day, he reported. They play in dirt, they put dirty objects in their mouths, and they are constantly touching things that are covered in bacteria. "Do many of them die from disease?" Dr. Kellenox asked. "Very few," Dr. Zeth Carr replied. "Most human children grow up to be very healthy adults. The ones who are exposed to the most germs often become the healthiest." Dr. Vextil had been studying human muscle and bone structure. Her findings were just as confusing as the medical data. "Watch this video," she said, showing footage of a human named Danny Webb. Danny was lifting heavy metal objects over and over again. The weight was so heavy that it should have damaged his muscles and bones. Sweat poured down his face, and he was breathing hard. He looked like he was in pain. "He is deliberately damaging his muscle tissue," Dr. Vextil explained. "Our scans show tiny tears in his muscle fibers." "He is injuring himself on purpose?" Dr. Kellenox asked. "Yes, but watch what happens next," Dr. Vextil said. The video showed Danny a week later. He was lifting the same heavy objects, but now it looked easy. He was not sweating or breathing hard. He had gotten stronger. His muscles repaired themselves, Dr. Vextil continued. But they did not just heal. They became bigger and stronger than before. Dr. Kellenox studied the medical scans. Danny's muscle tissue had indeed grown larger and more powerful. His bones had also become denser and harder to break. He used injury to make himself stronger, Dr. Kellenox said slowly. This should not be possible. But it was not just muscles and bones. Human brains also got stronger when challenged. Dr. Luxara had found that humans who faced difficult mental problems developed better thinking abilities. Humans who learned to speak multiple languages had brain improvements that lasted their entire lives. Humans use stress to improve themselves, Dr. Kellenox concluded. Physical stress makes their bodies stronger. Mental stress makes their minds sharper. Disease exposure makes their immune systems more powerful. Engineer Sally Kim demonstrated this principle perfectly. During a routine repair job, she was exposed to a mild toxin that leaked from a broken pipe. The toxin should have made her sick for weeks. Instead, Sally's body not only fought off the poison, but developed permanent protection against similar chemicals. A month later, she was exposed to a much stronger version of the same toxin, and had no reaction at all. Her body learned from the first exposure, Dr. Kellenox explained to his team. It used the toxin as training for worse poisons. The alien medical team spent months studying human biology. They learned that human bodies were designed to adapt and improve. Every challenge became an opportunity to grow stronger. When humans got sick, their immune systems learned to fight new diseases. When humans exercised, their muscles and bones became more powerful. When humans faced mental challenges, their brains developed new abilities. It is as if their entire species evolved to thrive on adversity, Dr. Kellenox told the other scientists. What kills other species makes humans more resilient. Dr. Vextol discovered that human DNA could actually change during their lifetime. When humans faced new challenges, their genes adapted to help them survive. These changes could even be passed on to their children. They are evolving in real time, she announced. Most species take thousands of years to develop new survival traits. Humans can do it in a single generation. The medical research reached an impossible conclusion. Humans were not just surviving dangerous conditions. They were using those conditions to become the most adaptable species in the galaxy. A human could live on almost any planet, eat almost any food, and survive almost any disaster. Their bodies would adapt and become stronger. Their immune systems would learn to fight new diseases. Their minds would develop new ways to solve problems. We have been asking the wrong question, Dr. Kellenox announced at the final medical conference. The question is not how humans are alive. The question is, what can possibly kill them? As the alien doctors looked at their research, they realized they had discovered something that would change the galaxy forever. Humans were not just another species that had developed space travel. They were evolution's masterpiece. A species designed to survive and thrive anywhere in the universe, no matter how dangerous or impossible the conditions might be. And they were spreading across the galaxy, one impossible planet at a time. 6 months after first meeting humans, Dr. Zethkar stood before the largest gathering in galactic history. Representatives from every known civilization had come to hear the research results about humanity. The giant meeting hall on Station Prime was filled with thousands of different alien species. Dr. Zethkar looked out at the audience with his 4 eyes. There were floating gas creatures from the nebula worlds, crystal beings from the silicon systems, and energy-based life forms from the plasma regions. All of them wanted to know the same thing. What made humans so special? Fellow scientists and representatives, Dr. Zethkar began, our study of humanity has changed everything we thought we knew about life in the universe. The massive hall became completely quiet. Even species that communicated through light patterns or electrical signals stopped their normal activities to listen. Humans evolved on a planet that can only be described as a death world, Dr. Zethkar continued. Their star produces radiation that would sterilize most of our species in minutes. Their atmosphere contains oxygen in concentrations that would be poisonous to most life forms. Commander Alex Turner, the human representative, sat quietly in the front row. He wore a simple blue uniform and looked completely normal. To most aliens in the audience, he appeared small and fragile. They had no idea they were looking at one of the most dangerous creatures evolution had ever created. The human planet is covered in a substance they call water, Dr. Zethkar explained. This is a universal solvent that should dissolve organic compounds. Yet humans are made mostly of this same substance. A murmur went through the crowd. Many aliens came from dry worlds where water was rare and dangerous. Furthermore, Dr. Zethkar continued, their world contains millions of species that evolved specifically to kill and eat other organisms. Humans share their planet with creatures that inject deadly poisons, others that can crush bones with their bite, and microscopic organisms that cause total system failure. Dr. Vextel joined Dr. Zethkar on the presentation platform. She pressed. Buttons on her control device and huge screens showed images of Earth's most dangerous creatures. Observe, she said. Humans live alongside creatures like this shark, which can bite through metal. This snake produces venom that stops hearts in seconds. These tiny bacteria cause diseases that shut down vital organs. The alien audience made sounds of fear and disgust. Many had never seen such terrifying creatures. Yet humans not only survived. On this world, Dr. Vextil continued, they became the dominant species. They learned to hunt the hunters and use the planet's dangers to their advantage. Dr. Luxara stepped forward to explain the behavioral findings. Humans do not avoid danger. Like other species, they actively seek it out because challenge drives their development. The screens showed videos of humans doing extreme sports, exploring dangerous places, and taking risks that would terrify most aliens. They have turned adversity into their greatest evolutionary advantage, Dr. Luxara explained. Every problem becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more adaptable. But the biggest revelation came when Dr. Kellenox presented the medical findings. Humans are not just surviving impossible conditions, he announced. They are the most adaptable and resilient species we have ever discovered. The screens showed images of human cells adapting to toxins, human muscles growing stronger under stress, and human immune systems learning to fight new diseases. Their bodies can adapt to almost any environment, Dr. Kellenox continued. They can live in extreme heat or cold, breathe thin air, eat almost any organic matter, and survive radiation. Levels that would kill most known life forms. A representative from the Crystalline Collective raised a question through light signals. The Universal Translator converted the message. Are humans dangerous to other species? Commander Alex Turner stood up to answer. His movement was smooth and confident, though he looked relaxed and friendly. We do not wish to harm anyone, Alex said. We prefer to explore, learn, and make friends. But we can survive in places where other species cannot go. Dr. Zethkar nodded. This brings us to our final conclusion. Humans are not just another species that developed space travel. They are evolution's solution to surviving in an impossible universe. The alien representatives listened with growing amazement as the full implications became clear. Most galactic civilizations can only live on a few types of planets, Dr. Zethkar explained. We need specific atmospheric conditions, particular temperature ranges, and careful protection from radiation. This limits where we can explore and expand. Humans can potentially live anywhere, Dr. Vextil added. Desert worlds, ice planets, high radiation environments, even in space itself. With minimal protection. They adapt to conditions that would kill us instantly. They are not limited by the narrow margins of habitability that restrict the rest of us, Dr. Luxara concluded. The presentation ended with a simple but stunning statement from Dr. Kellenox. Humans may be the key to expanding life throughout the galaxy. They can go where no other species can survive and prepare the way for others to follow. The hall erupted in discussion. Aliens spoke in hundreds of different languages, creating a chaos of sounds, lights, and energy patterns. Captain Rachel Stone, another human representative, stood up to address the assembly. She was a tall woman with short dark hair and calm eyes. Honored delegates, she said, we understand that our abilities might seem strange or frightening, but we want to use them to help others, not to dominate or control. She gestured to the screens, which now showed images of human colonies on various worlds. We have already established settlements on planets that other species cannot visit. Rachel continued. We can set up mining operations on radiation-soaked worlds, build research stations in toxic atmospheres, and explore regions of space that are too dangerous for others. What do you want in return? Asked a delegate from the Methane Collective, speaking through chemical signals. Knowledge and friendship, Rachel replied simply. We want to learn from other civilizations and share what we discover. The universe is big enough for everyone. Alex Turner added, We have already found 3 new elements on worlds that were too dangerous for previous expeditions. We discovered a cure for red spiral disease by studying bacteria that live in boiling acid pools. These discoveries benefit everyone. The alien representatives began to understand the true implications. Humans were not just survivors. They were explorers who could unlock the secrets of the most dangerous places in the galaxy. Dr. Seth Carr stepped forward again. The data shows that humans have already expanded to over 50 worlds that were previously considered uninhabitable. They are not just living on these worlds. They are thriving. The screen showed human cities built inside active volcanoes, underwater colonies in oceans of liquid methane, and space stations orbiting black holes. In each image, humans appeared healthy and happy in conditions that would be instantly fatal to most other species. On planet Infornis, where surface temperatures reach 200 degrees, humans mine rare crystals that power faster-than-light engines, Dr. Vextil explained. On Ice World Terminus, where water freezes solid in seconds, humans study ancient alien artifacts preserved in the ice. They do not just survive these conditions, Dr. Luxara added. They find ways to enjoy them. Humans on the lava world have invented a sport where they surf on molten rock. Humans on the ice world race across frozen seas for entertainment. The revelation was complete. The assembled delegates finally understood what they were dealing with. Humans were not just another spacefaring species. They were something entirely new, a species that could literally go anywhere and do anything. The question we asked 6 months ago was, how are humans even alive? Dr. Zethkar said. But that was the wrong question. The real question is, what impossible place do you need someone to go next? Captain Rachel Stone smiled and looked out at the thousands of alien representatives. We are ready to explore any world, any system, any phenomenon that you have been unable to study because it is too dangerous. We can map the interiors of gas giants, study the surfaces of neutron stars from close range, and investigate the event horizons of black holes, Alex Turner added. We can go places where no life should be possible and bring back the knowledge. That advances all our civilizations. The alien delegates were quiet for a long moment. They were realizing that first contact with humanity was not just meeting another species. It was gaining access to the entire galaxy. Dr. Morton, the careful gray alien, stood up slowly. If humans can survive anywhere, what does this mean for the future of galactic civilization? Dr. Kellenox answered, It means that for the first time in galactic history, we are not limited by the narrow zones where life can exist. Humans can establish footholds in any environment and create safe zones for others to follow. It means unlimited expansion, Dr. Vextil added. Unlimited resources, unlimited knowledge, unlimited possibilities. The meeting ended with the signing of the Galactic Cooperation Treaty. Every major civilization agreed to work with humanity to explore the dangerous regions of space. In return, humans would share all their discoveries and help establish new colonies on previously impossible worlds. As the delegates left the Great Hall, they carried with them a new understanding of what life could achieve.